You might have walked the halls of Chicago's Pedway or boarded a train at one of the L subway stops. But 40 feet below much of Chicago's loop, there is another feat of underground engineering. Meet Chicago's freight tunnel system. Though it hasn't been in operation in over 60 years, the network is unique to Chicago, and it would play the starring role in the 1992 loop flood. Back in 1899, the Illinois Telephone and Telegraph Company began construction on the tunnels under the guise of laying telephone cables. In classic Chicago style, the company didn't exactly tell the city how big the tunnels were going to be, but they ended up being much larger than what was needed for telephone cables. Big enough, in fact, for a small electric railroad. City officials weren't happy. After some back and forth, the project was allowed to continue. When it was finished, there were roughly 60 miles of freight tunnels complete with electric rail cars. The system mostly follows Chicago's grid. Their purpose was to move things like coal and merchandise between buildings connected to the tunnels. This helped businesses avoid traffic congestion on the streets above. By 1959, the freight tunnel system had become obsolete, and the electric railroad came to a halt. It fell to the city of Chicago to maintain the tunnels, but the system was mostly out of sight, out of mind. That is until April 13, 1992, when water from the Chicago River started pouring into the tunnels, flooding the basements of the buildings connected to them. Months before, a construction crew working on the Kinzie Street Bridge had placed pilings in a way that breached the wall of the tunnel. It started as a relatively small leak, but after some bureaucratic delays, it became a massive flood, with 250 million gallons of water spilling into loop buildings. In the end, it took 2 weeks to stop the flow of water and cost an estimated $2 billion to clean up the mess. For insurance purposes, the incident was classified as a leak. Today, apart from some electric and fiber optic cables, the freight tunnels still sit mostly unused. But fortunately, they are dry.